Hello everyone. I wanted to provide a little more information about how to use the program development template. This template will be used to complete each of the 5 assignments this quarter, and you'll also probably see this template used in other programming classes that you might take at City University. So in this first section, what we're looking for is for you to describe the problem that you're going to solve. In your own words. This demonstrates an understanding of the problem that you're setting out to resolve with your program. In the program analysis section, you'll be using this table and you'll be describing the inputs, the processing that's going to occur in your script, and then the outputs. In the logical design phase, this is where you will use pseudocode or a flowchart or some of the other tools described by the author in Chapter 1. Most students choose to use either pseudocode or a flowchart, or both, but you can also use some of the tools discussed in Chapter 1 if you'd like. And in this design, you'll show what will be happening in your program. How will you be solving this problem? And then in the coding section, in this section, we'd like to see a screenshot of your final code and also a screenshot showing the output of your final code. In addition to this, you'll also be submitting your Python script when you submit your project and this program development template. I just want to say a note about coding. One thing that we really would like to see is coding or is commenting throughout your program, describing what's happening at each step. This makes it really helpful for us to understand what your logic is in the program. In the correcting, debugging, and testing section, we want you to capture every error message that you encounter while working on your program. And you'll place it in this table. You'll put the error here in this section, and then whatever you did to resolve the error in this section, and then the result of that action, what happened. You'll capture all of the errors that you encounter as you work to solve the problem. In the documentation phase, this is actually separate from the documentation within your code. Here we want you to create a sort of user guide that explains how your program works. What does the user have to do? So we'd like to see that here in this documentation section. And then finally, a reflection. We want you to reflect on your experience, what you learned, and what the experience was like. That's the last piece. I wanted to just show you an example of how this is used. This student here has described how she intends to solve the problem. And then you can see an example here of how this problem analysis section is used. And then here's an example of the logical design phase. You can see there's some pseudocode and flowcharts. This is a little bit extensive, but it's a good example. And in the coding section, you can see the final script has been, a screenshot's been taken and placed here, and then also the output. And this is an example of what we want to see in the correcting, debugging, and testing section. So each error is captured. The steps describe to what was done to resolve the error, and then again the result. And then here's an example of what the documentation piece might look like. And then finally at the bottom we have a reflection. If you have any questions about how to use the program development template, please feel free to reach out to me at any time.